What if the person smiling at you across the dinner table wasn't simply sharing a meal, but quietly measuring your character, waiting for you to slip? Ethan had always believed love was simple. You meet the right person, you choose them every day, and you stay loyal not because you are watched, but because you want to. That belief shaped his marriage to Claire in their small blue house just outside Seattle, where tall pine trees framed their quiet street, and Sunday mornings were reserved for coffee on the porch and soft conversations about ordinary dreams. They have been married for 2 steady years, not dramatic or flashy, but grounded and real. Ethan worked as a project manager at a tech company, structured and dependable, while Claire thrived as a nurse, kind and patient, the sort of woman who remembered strangers' names and carried empathy into every shift. They laughed easily, argued rarely, and trusted deeply, or at least Ethan believed they did. The only shadow had always been Margaret, Claire's mother, who never openly criticized him but studied him with an intensity that felt like quiet evaluation, as if she were waiting for proof that he would eventually disappoint her. When Claire was accepted into a 3-week nursing seminar in Chicago, she was excited yet anxious about the opportunity, and Ethan supported her fully, helping her pack before sunrise and driving her to the airport with reassuring smiles. Yet when she hugged him goodbye, her embrace lingered, almost as if she sensed something fragile beneath the surface. The house felt painfully silent that first night alone. Ethan turned on the television for background noise, cooked dinner he barely touched, and sent Claire a picture of the empty chair across from him. She replied with a heart emoji and a tired selfie from her hotel room. The days dragged, and by the 3rd evening, loneliness felt heavier than he expected. That was when his phone buzzed with a message request from Lily Harper, a woman whose profile showed an ordinary lakeside smile. She casually asked if they had met at a barbecue months ago. Unsure, Ethan responded politely, assuming it was small-town coincidence. But the conversation didn't fade. The next evening she mentioned Claire by name, asking if he was her husband, and though the tone remained friendly, something about her familiarity unsettled him. She said she had moved back recently and was reconnecting with people, and after a few light exchanges she suggested coffee to confirm whether they had met before. Ethan hesitated longer than he expected. Claire was away. The evenings were empty. Still, it wasn't a date, he told himself, just coffee in a public place. He agreed. The cafe downtown was bright and crowded when they met, Lily looking exactly like her photos, calm and confident. Their conversation flowed easily. She asked thoughtful questions about his job, about marriage, about how he handled distance. When she remarked that 3 weeks apart could change things, he assured her they would be fine. The meeting lasted under an hour, nothing inappropriate happening. Yet as he walked to his car, he noticed a silver sedan parked across the street and recognized it instantly as Margaret's. Moments later, she stepped out, pretending surprise, her polite smile not reaching her eyes as she asked what brought him downtown. That night, Lily texted again, suggesting dinner next time. Dinner felt different, heavier, intentional. He didn't reply. Instead, he scrolled through photos of Claire, remembering their wedding vows and the way she had looked at him like he was her safest place. Over the next few days, Lily's messages became more frequent, her tone subtly shifting as she asked about his routine, when he came home, what he did alone. Each question seemed harmless alone, but formed a pattern together. One evening, she asked if the house felt strange without Claire. He answered that it was temporary. She replied, 3 weeks can change things. The sentence unsettled him. Meanwhile, Claire called from Chicago, her voice warm but tired, and he almost mentioned Lily but decided not to burden her. After their call, Lily asked if he was always this loyal. He responded firmly that his marriage mattered to him. The next day she called unexpectedly, suggesting dinner since she happened to be nearby. He declined immediately. She sighed and called him stronger than most men, a compliment that felt like pressure rather than praise. Soon after, Margaret invited him to dinner, asking pointed but gentle questions about loneliness and new friendships, her gaze sharp and searching. That evening, Lily sent a lakeside sunset photo captioned, "Wish you were here." That was the moment Ethan ended it, replying clearly that he respected his marriage and blocking her despite her warning that he might regret not taking chances. Peace returned briefly until Claire called unexpectedly, her voice uncertain. asking if he had met anyone new because her mother had seen him downtown and hinted he seemed distracted. The pieces aligned instantly: the cafe, the car, the probing questions. He admitted to the coffee meeting and told her he had ended it. After a pause, she asked softly, "Her name isn't Lily, is it?" His breath caught. Later that night, an unknown number messaged him. "You surprised me." No name, but confirmation. The next morning, he drove straight to Margaret's house without warning. She answered calmly, almost expecting him. When he showed her the messages and asked who Lily was, she confessed without denial. Lily was a friend's daughter, and she had asked her to test him. Margaret admitted her own husband had cheated after 10 years of marriage, and she refused to let Claire relive that pain. She needed proof Ethan would not fail. He listened, anger mixing with understanding, and replied steadily that marriage is not an experiment sprung in secret but built on trust. He was not her husband, and he would not be punished for someone else's betrayal. When Claire returned early from Chicago, their reunion at the airport was emotional and heavy, relief blending with the sting of doubt planted by someone else's fear. Together they confronted Margaret, Claire gently but firmly explaining that protection cannot come through manipulation and that inherited pain cannot control their marriage. Margaret apologized, admitting she did not know how to trust after her past. And in the weeks that followed, life returned slowly to its quiet rhythms: coffee on the porch, evening walks, shared laughter, but something had shifted. Trust had not broken, but it had been shaken and then rebuilt with deeper awareness. Ethan realized the deepest wound was not temptation, but knowing someone expected him to fail. Claire realized how easily doubt can grow when planted carefully. And Margaret began confronting her own fear instead of disguising it as love. In the quiet blue house outside Seattle, Ethan and Claire made a quieter promise not just to remain faithful but to guard their marriage against outside manipulation and internal doubt alike, understanding now that love is not proven by passing secret tests but by choosing each other freely, every single day, especially when no one is watching.